Hey there, how you doing? We are back. They actually allowed us back in the building.
And yes, we're shocked, but you've got two hopheads mainlining cough and cold medicine. But
Thanks for listening to the
whoa, something's up.
Your show is starting. So we're going to get started here with the news. Here we go.
Yeah, so the open's going a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, so stand by. Okay, we are live and on air. Dimitri and Kurt and Dimitri.
Hello, hello. Welcome again, folks. Appreciate you watching and listening as well. And we're on the River Talk stations, which is 100.1 FM, 100.9 FM, the mighty 1290, and the also mighty 1430, although that doesn't really rhyme. So we've got lots of great stuff for you tonight.
We have a bang up show,
Now,
indeed.
are you going to start the news now?
Yeah, let's start with some news.
Okay, so Kurt Weinschenker is going to start with the news. About 2 minutes of news. We'll have some commercials or a public service
A
announcement.
little bit of weather.
And then, if you're a gun owner, you really need to pay attention to this because something just dropped on Friday afternoon. The feds are trying to come after your guns again. We'll be talking about that. Also talking about this poor teenage girl who was in a girls' locker room, and she was subjected to a trans man fully naked. And the YMCA is going, well, just have to deal with it. So we'll be talking about that too. And also, you're not going to believe the new owner of the Miss Universe Pageant. It is off the chart insane.
You will not.
And I've got the audio on my iPhone. So and we got so much more for you as well. So please share this all over Facebook. Kurt and Dimitri.
Dimitri and Kurt.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. So why don't you start with the news there,
All right.
Kurt? And I'll just
with River Talk Radio News, I'm Kurt Weinschenker. Long-serving Wheeling, Ohio County Public Health Officer Dr. William Mercer has received national recognition of his efforts towards public health. The American Public Health Association awarded Dr. Mercer their Milton and Ruth Romer Prize for 2 programs he created. According to the APHA, Dr. Mercer's Joe Too Cool for School Smoke, watch that one, and Project Hope programs demonstrated his commitment and passion towards public health at fundamental levels. Joe Too Cool to Smoke uses Peanut comic strip characters to encourage people not to use tobacco, while Project Hope strives to provide medical care to those without permanent homes. A Pittsburgh restaurant chain, that is not supposed to happen.
Bacteria that cause continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect is pain in the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20. And now, from high atop Dimitri Kurt, talking Ohio Valley Talk on River Talk, 1290 AM and 100.1 FM.
All right, we're back. I apologize for the technical glitches there as we're still getting used to this.
We're test
setup.
pilots. This is a test flight, and we've got the right stuff, but we're still learning the ropes here. We're learning the ropes. Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, we'll finish a little bit of news.
Yeah, finish the news if you would. Mercer, by the way, congratulations.
Yes, he's no longer the Ohio County Public Health Officer. He's moved on from that position, but he has served for years and years.
Good man.
Very good man, yes, indeed.
Way to go.
So, moving on, a Pittsburgh restaurant chain plans to expand with a location in Weirton. Primanti Brothers, the chain known for putting French fries and coleslaw on sandwiches, will build a 4,000 square foot restaurant on a site right off of Three Springs Drive. The chain was founded in 1933 at a location in Pittsburgh's Strip District. Primanti Brothers has 40 locations at present, 30 of them in Pennsylvania. You're listening to River Talk Radio News. The Biden administration seeks to reclassify millions of pistol-braced firearms as illegal short-barreled rifles and shotguns. On Friday, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms issued a final administrative rule using the 1934 National Firearms Act to reclassify firearms with stabilizer braces as illegal firearms. Estimates of the devices in circulation range from 3 to 40 million. This rule takes effect 120 days from publishing in the Federal Register. ATF officials say owners of stabilizing brace firearms will have to register them with the agency or face possible criminal charges. Second Amendment advocacy groups say the actions by the Biden administration are administrative overreach and plan to fight the rule through the courts. A reminder, with the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on Monday, federal, state, and local government offices are closed. The U.S. Postal Service will not deliver mail. Also, buses and vans from the Ohio Valley Regional Transit Authority and Eastern Ohio Regional Transit Authority will not operate. Quick look at the weather. Tonight's low is projected at 23 degrees. Tomorrow, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, increasing clouds with a high of 46. Tomorrow night, low of 37. I'm Kurt Weinshanker for River Talk Radio News. And now back to Dimitri and Kurt, or Kurt and Dimitri.
There you go. All right. So, Kurt, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You understand firearms like few people do. And so I've got to turn to you. If you care about the Second Amendment, as I do, then you know that anytime there's a federal or state law that infringes on any aspect of gun ownership, I tend to lose my mind, because that's just what I do, because I care about individual liberty, individual freedom. I believe you should be free to own as many weapons or firearms as you wish. And I have no problem if my next door neighbor owns a tank. I don't care.
Yeah, really.
Because we get along fine. Now, if my neighbor and I were not getting along fine, that'd be a different discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, so I wasn't even aware of this, and shame on me. This happened Friday afternoon. Again, the feds, I hate the feds.
News dump, hoping it gets buried.
Absolutely.
Fortunately, your genial broadcast host.
So tell me, set the picture here, paint the big picture here for us about this, Kurt.
Okay. The rule was announced by the Justice Department on Friday. It says if an individual, manufacturer, or retailer puts a brace on a firearm that was not designed as a pistol and has a barrel under 16 inches long, it is now considered a short-barreled rifle under the National Firearms Act, or NFA, from 1934. That means now, to remain in that configuration without getting in trouble, it would require a tax stamp and registration with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
Okay, now that sounds kind of innocent to those who actually trust the feds. I don't. So let's break this down. The first one is a brace. What exactly is a brace?
A pistol brace was originally designed to help people with physical limitations, such as your disabled veterans from various foreign wars, to shoot firearms comfortably.
Well, describe a brace. How does this thing work?
It looks admittedly like a stock, but when you attach it to a pistol and secure the strap of it to your wrist, it allows you to use it.
Right. So you
and
have
with accuracy.
Better accuracy. Okay.
Yes.
And the now the next part of that story, the feds, if you don't have that brace, the feds are now considering your firearm to be like a
if you have
machine gun?
Here's, let me break it down for you.
Yeah. Make it very simple.
I will
and speak
try.
very, very slowly.
I will try.
Thank you.
If you have one, it's only if you have one of these pistol braces. That's the problem as far as the feds are concerned, because the feds say that a short-barreled rifle needs to have a tax stamp, and they say that with this pistol brace, you now have a short-barreled rifle. You must register it under the National Firearms Act, which has been around since 1934. Get a tax stamp from it. Get a certificate from the federal government in order to be legal. The problem is, we've got anywhere from 10 to 40 million out there now. So all of a sudden, all these people who were legally buying it in good faith, et cetera,
Right.
are now criminals.
Unbelievable. If they don't register their weapons.
Correct. Or destroy them.
Or destroy their
Oh,
firearms.
yes, you can surrender it to the feds and they will be happy to destroy it for
I'll
you.
bet they'll probably sell it to Mexican drug cartels like they did before with Eric Holder. So this essentially sounds like it's a backdoor way of a gun registry, federal gun registry. Is that right?
Well, now, to be honest, we've had to register fully automatic weapons since 1934.
But this changes the whole.
Yeah, it's a administrative. The firearms advocacy groups view this as administrative overreach. You know, the federal government isn't supposed to be doing what Congress doesn't say it can do.
Sure, they're just gun grabbers. It never ends. So the Republicans now are putting up a fight. They're saying they're not going to allow this.
Not yet. It's only the gun advocacy, the gun owner advocacy groups. Gun Owners of America, probably the NRA. But the point is that, again, this is government saying what you can or can't do, even though the Congress probably didn't intend that in 1934.
And the gun grabbers, what this is all about, this is different states try to do this, the feds try to do this. The reason they want a gun registry, the game plan is always the same. The game plan is gun confiscation. The way to do that, the way it's always been done in other countries, including very recently in New Zealand and also in Australia, is they have some sort of excuse to create a gun registry so that everybody has to register their firearms so the feds, the deep swamp state, knows who owns the firearms. And then it's very easy to do gun confiscation because you go right down the list. Look at what happened in New Zealand. Look at what happened in Australia. Look at what happened, in the 30s everywhere. Canada's coming everywhere else. So whenever they talk about, well, just we need to register the guns. It's not about registering guns. It's about gun confiscation. And this is how it is always done. That's why we always have to fight this. West Virginia Citizens Defense League, EMT Masters Esquire is a fantastic guy, fantastic organization. Ohio Gun Owners, Pennsylvania Gun Owners of America, and many other fine organizations that care about the Second Amendment, your Second Amendment rights, are going to be fighting this tooth and nail because they all understand. Whenever it's about gun registration, it really is about gun confiscation. It is the first step. And here we go again. So,
and I have read memoir after memoir of Holocaust survivors
Yeah.
who ended up in Israel. And one of the things that is a constant in their memoirs is, if only we had kept our guns.
Yes.
They
Yes.
said, well, we trusted the government, the government was going to do it right. And then they ended up heading off to death camps.
Yeah.
And so, the guys who survived, were saying, man, they ain't taking my gun ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever. Never, ever, ever, never.
No question. Any final thoughts on this?
Well, the feds keep saying the new rule actually clocks in at 300 pages. It takes 300 pages to. And there is a scorecard apparently on the new worksheet, but it's been shelved. We don't know. The
deep swamp.
It's going to end up in the courts.
Yeah.
No question. And it's just why?
I
Why
hear
do
you. I absolutely.
There's
Why?
lots of
Because they're gun grabbers. That's what they
Right.
are. All right. Next, have you ever been to a mall and have you ever worn a shirt that read "Jesus saves"? Well, if you have, and you have not been stopped by mall management saying, "Hey, get out of here! You can't have this shirt on," then you might be surprised about what happened to this guy. Let me read you this story.
Oh yeah.
Footage of a Christian being told he needs to take his, quote, "Jesus saves" shirt off at the Mall of America because people were offended is going viral. It says, if you want me to shop here, you need to take off that shirt. That's according to a security officer at this Minnesota mall. The Mall of America is this gigantic mall that's similar to the mall in Edmonton, which is also a gigantic mall owned by, I think it's five Iranian brothers who built this thing. So this guy in Minnesota is wearing a Jesus Saves shirt, the Mall of America in America, in
Totally
Minnesota.
harmless.
Absolutely.
Protected speech under the First Amendment.
Absolutely,
Come on,
absolutely. And the man said, "What's wrong with my T-shirt?" Now we have the audio, but the audio quality, somebody recorded it, I guess using their iPhone or something, and it just wasn't good enough to air. But you can find it online, and I was going to include that on our Facebook thing, but really not tonight. Anyway, so the guy's saying, "What's wrong with my T-shirt?" The back of the shirt reads, "Jesus is the only way," with the coexist symbol crossed out. "Again, sir, it is a religious solicitation," says the mall security guard. "There is no soliciting on mall property, which is private property. We've had guests come up and say they are offended by your shirt." The officer asked him if he wanted to be arrested if he wouldn't take off the shirt. "Do you want to be arrested with the charge of trespassing?" The man says, "What did I do wrong? Jesus is associated with religion and it's offending people." Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. According to the Mall of America website, inappropriate clothing includes apparel that has obscene language,
Apparently that's obscene.
obscene gestures, or racial, religious, ethnic slurs that are likely to create a disturbance. It's absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So that's what is going on in America right now. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh. I mean, people need to get a thicker skin. I mean, Jesus saves is harmless, but I was going to say, if you put a picture of Muhammad on a T-shirt, it would offend Muslims because then it would have a picture of the Prophet.
But the thing is, nobody knows what he looks like. So
Well,
I've never understood that one, by the way.
Right.
Nobody knows what he looks like. So how can you have a picture of him? Say, well, I can't have a picture of Muhammad. Okay, but nobody knows what he looks like. So how could you be offended? I've never understood.
Or
that.
what if it said, "I'm yelling for Yahweh"?
There you go. There you go.
Jumping for Jesus, yelling for Yahweh. I mean,
This
the point?
almost seems like a continuation of the war on Christmas. Now, this is an extreme thing here.
Well,
It's just a guy wearing a shirt saying Jesus saves.
Now, technically, a mall is private property.
Well, it's
Right,
a
but
gray
it's also-
area.
right, because we get into the issue of, is it a public forum?
Yeah, it's a gray area. There's the Pruneyard decision back in Connecticut many years ago that kind of said that malls were private property, kind of, sort of, but you could exercise your First Amendment rights there to a degree. Long story
Right.
short,
And if you
this is
look
terrible.
over at the Ohio Valley Mall, for instance, they have signs posted saying you're not permitted to handbill, you're not permitted to do this, things like that
Right.
on the mall property.
Yeah, but this thing with the Jesus saved, it's almost as if people are targeting Christians these days. I'm not offended by this thing. It's like, who cares? Jesus saves, Muhammad saves, Bible, whatever.
That's something on a
Who
t-shirt.
cares? Who cares? But these people are going, well, we're going to have to remove you here. The way the many malls are struggling right now, I mean, they're really struggling right now. You would think, what am I doing here?
1 minute.
Oh, I've got one. Okay, I've got 1 minute here to organize my thoughts. The way many malls are struggling right now, you would think they would welcome everyone, even Christians, to the mall. Even Christians who are wearing a Jesus Saves T-shirt. But apparently, they're doing so well with the Mall of America there in Minnesota that, well, we don't really need this guy's business. I wonder if Christians were ever organized. I mean, really organized, to essentially boycott, if they would do that. That's 30 seconds. Okay, I'm learning the ropes here. Then I think that would be really interesting. A lot of Christians would just stop going there.
Well,
but I mean, or what they would all do is every one of them would wear a Jesus Saves T-shirt.
that would be a neat protest.
I think that would be great.
That would be a
It'd
neat
be
protest.
epic. It'd be epic.
We'll be coming back
Okay.
soon, right after a few messages to help us, stay on the air.
Great. So if you're getting censorship of Jesus shirts,
Okay,
you against
we got through that.
groups trying to censor books in public libraries. Sorry, what now?
We've got about a 4-minute break.
4-minute break. Okay, can I run to the little boys?
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. I've been drinking a lot of water, a ton of water. I got my Amy cup here.
Oh, yeah.
Epstein didn't kill himself.
And I have one,
Still fighting.
Liberated.
Oh, and Johnny O, ladies and gentlemen, Johnny O is now joining us.
and I
Johnny
have a mug
O.
Liberated, the Mighty 1290.
Where did you steal that from?
The kitchen cabinet.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'll be right back. Johnny
And I will
O.
wash it and put it away.
We got 4 minutes. 4 minutes here. You can interact with Kurt for Facebook friends.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't start cursing.
This is
Uh,
the Johnny
Can we
O,
talk
folks.
about Dimitri while he's gone?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're going to, rant and rave about Dimitri.
Oh, it smells like cough drops in here.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got our hophead,
I see
hophead
that.
hosts ODing on,
Whew.
cough medicine here for tonight.
That's right.
But the show must go on.
He's high as a kite and his teeth are green, but it's okay.
High as a kite and his teeth are green.
That's what
Is that
NyQuil
anything
does to
like? Is that anything like snot hanging
you.
drunk?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, snot hanging drunk. We're just going back and forth, Johnny O and I, about all of these phrases that we have come across in our broadcasting careers, and
Yes.
we've come across a bunch of them.
Oh, yes. You're absolutely correct, my friend. Yes, it just goes to show you what's going on in the world. Everybody needs to stop and look and listen.
Yeah, I dropped an ice cube on the floor and kicked it under the refrigerator, and my wife got mad at me, and I told her it was just water under the fridge.
That's right. Eventually it'll come out, Yeah. That's what I always say. So
Yeah, but hey, we're glad that you're with us. We really are, and we hope that you tell your friends,
I will do that.
spread
yes.
the words.
I will.
Get it out there that for the time being, we're doing test flights.
Right. Okay.
I
we're
kept
building
building-
warm for you.
These paper towels are too rough.
I'm telling you,
Well, I
we've got
got
to
some
order a case of them
Kleenexes,
from.
I
This is unbelievable
I'm
how
telling
rough
you,
these
They're
things
supposed
are.
to be to dry your hands, not blow your nose.
Still, it doesn't matter.
I'm
Even
saying
drying my
we
hands,
need
I have
to
very
order-
tender skin.
Dimitri,
And
you and I need
What?
to order a case of them from Alibaba and deliver them to Boss Man.
But that would mean I would have to pay for them. And we can't
Who
do
said
that.
that?
Oh,
Well, serve him.
Talk
We
with
don't have to pay
management.
for him when I have his credit card.
That's
Ooh,
exactly
I
it.
like that.
And then, as a public service,
By the way, did the camera catch
yeah,
that?
absolutely.
Didn't get the PIN number. We got the.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I was
We're
going to
good.
say, we'll turn this into a positive, Dimitri, by donating these paper towels to homeless organizations, soup kitchens, and the like.
No, because I can't use them.
Right, you can't use them, so let's give them to
Oh,
them.
okay. We can
We'll give them away
profit
to-
from that
Yeah, you
somehow.
take some
Okay.
Kleenexes.
Yeah, I've got plenty of Kleenex. I've got plenty of everything here
That
off
smells like
camera.
cough drops in here.
Well, that's
Imagine
we're,
that.
Yeah.
Less than a minute away from showtime, kids.
All right, boys.
All right. Thank you, Johnny.
Thank you.
He's actually a great guy. Johnny O is on WAMP FM, which is 100.5 weekday mornings, plus the Saturday night dance party,
Yes.
house party, I guess.
House party.
And just an absolutely great guy, really talented radio guy. Just make sure you listen. He's
Please
a great guy.
Please spread the word.
Absolutely.
We have 30 seconds till we're back on the
All right.
air here, but
Okay.
anyway, onwards and upwards, we are continuing.
Great.
$15 to the reopen.
See, so Margie's writing in. So if you're against censorship of Jesus shirts, are you against religious groups trying to censor books in public libraries? All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was just great.
Perfect.
Dimitri and Kurt here. We are doing a talk show. It's a test flight. Think of us as test pilots pushing the envelope as we're working out all the bugs connected with the whole new
Engineers are
Whole new
busily
system.
monitoring the telemetry.
the engineering department of this magnificent radio ownership group, Ohio
Outdoing
Midland News
themselves.
Group, River Valley Radio.
Yeah,
Group,
Boss
whatever
Man
the
is
hell they're
really,
called.
cranking it up. He was
Yeah.
here all day yesterday, and
Just
you
to
gotta
make
give
sure-
him credit where it's due.
No, he was here yesterday to make sure nobody stole anything. That's just how he works. That's just how he works. Anyway, so we've got some comments on Facebook, the Facebook live stream that we're doing, also on
Really?
YouTube, and one is from Margie DeFeedy, legendary
She
broadcaster.
is indeed.
She was my news director there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
When I was working
yeah.
down the street.
Nice to see her checking into the net.
She stalks me. Wherever I go, she's always stalking. She's always
What's she saying?
always there. Well, she's saying this. So, as Margie DeFeedy speaking now in her comments. So, if you're against censorship of Jesus shirts, are you against religious groups trying to censor books in public libraries? If so, I have an interesting local story for you. Well, okay, I can hear the local story at some point, but there's a big difference here comparing apples and oranges. Censoring books in public libraries is a catch-all. You've got to define your terms. And if there are books that are sexually explicit and the libraries are in grade schools or high schools,
That's a problem.
if these school libraries are offering books that might even be considered pornographic, if you will,
Mhm.
then yeah, I've got a real big problem with that.
As well, you
If
should.
these books are sending inappropriate messages to children without the parents' knowledge, I've got a very, very big problem with that as well. No question. How about you, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to. We never used to see pornography in libraries.
Right.
It
right.
never was an issue.
Especially high schools and grade schools.
Oh, heavens to Murgatroyd.
And now these trans teachers, I mean, geez, it's unbelievable. It really is.
I'm frantically scrolling through my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
To show you, because I can't show you on the internet. You know, you have to kind of look at it yourself. But I don't think you've ever seen some of these books that were being tried to.
I have. I have.
have you?
It's gross beyond belief. It's
Oh
actually
yeah,
gross.
it's actually
It's pornography for
if-
kids. There are laws against that.
Yeah,
So-
if you do that
Yeah.
to your kid,
Yeah.
you can be busted for child pornography. But it's
Yeah.
somehow okay to put it in a school library.
Yeah.
You
Margie
want
is
to figure
saying
that one out?
Margie is saying it's the public library in Steubenville in Jefferson County. Some information. We'll be happy to take a look at it, Margie. Thank you. All right, let's segue here to this poor teenage girl. Her name is Rebecca Phillips. She's 17 years old. She was in the women's locker room at the YMCA, Young Men's Christian Association, and she sees a naked man. she starts crying. She's traumatized by the experience with the person that she described as a trans woman. Apparently a trans woman that still has the male plumbing, if you catch my drift. This 17-year-old, Rebecca, said that she was changing after swimming one day last month at the local YMCA when she spotted a naked trans woman in the changing rooms. And Rebecca is saying, as I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. So you got several issues here. You've got this poor teenage girl. You've got a trans person who still has male plumbing, and you've got a apparently a very flimsy excuse for a curtain at the YMCA. It continues. The girl says, Rebecca Phillips says that the policy allowing trans women in the female locker room should be changed, adding she was especially worried about her 5-year-old sister who could be exposed to naked trans women in the women's locker room at the YMCA.
And it's because women's facilities may be used by anyone in California now that state law there says people must be allowed to use facilities which align with their gender identity.
I could identify as a female and I could be in a women's locker room. I mean, think about that. I mean, I actually could. It's insane. Anyway, the girl says this is the YMCA where hundreds of children spend their summer afternoons in child care camps. This is the YMCA where my little sister took gymnastic lessons. The locker room was supposed to be her safe haven to gossip with her friends and shower and change. Gets worse. Rebecca Phillips, the teenager, said that she was reprimanded by the YMCA staffers who told her the trans woman had every right to be in the YMCA female changing rooms. Women's facilities may be used by anyone in California now that state law says people must be allowed to use facilities that align with their gender identity. So
Yes.
Phillips is talking to city council.
Right. She says that she was shamed by the YMCA.
Yes.
Made to feel as if she was
She was
wrong.
the problem. Yeah.
She's the problem.
You got a problem with men? You're 17-year-old. I mean, it's unbelievable.
The police used to arrest men who flashed themselves at children.
Absolutely.
And these guys don't seem to, oh, sorry.
Phillips told the city council there she was complaining. She was very upset by the experience, but when she brought it to the YMCA management, she was told that the man I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. A grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA here in California. Phillips says that she was shamed by the YMCA. I was made to feel as if I had done something wrong. The incident, indecent exposure of a male to a female minor, was an inconvenience, and on and on and on.
Inconvenience.
It's so sickening.
It's not,
just
like
so
anything
sickening.
illegal. Illegal.
Aren't there laws against adults showing their private parts to children, even in California? I mean, seriously.
But I mean, what in blazes?
California. I don't know. It's
disintegrating, unfortunately.
Let's see here. We have people responding.
Oh, good.
If the protest is specifically a point of religion, if you're sexual morality, you don't have to any specific religion. Mature enough to. Okay, Chris Allen is saying if the protest is specifically a point of religion, yes. But if you are referring to a question of sexual morality, you do not have to be any specific religion or any religion at all to believe that children should not be exposed to sexual behavior before they're mature enough to understand it. Well, no question. It's absolutely insane.
It's goofy.
No question. Now, speaking of goofy, next story. Let me just check. Do we have a break coming up here?
No, we've got a few minutes.
Okay, fine.
We're good.
So, next story. I'm still, by the way, I do have to apologize to all of our listeners on these great radio stations on the River Talk network, which includes 100.1 FM, the mighty 1290, 100.9 FM, 100.9 FM, and the puny 1430. Well, there's the mighty 1290. I don't know what to say about the puny 1430, but whatever. We're all over we're all over the place. And of course, on Facebook, doing a live stream.
Nifty 1430. The nifty 1430.
We can work on that. Okay,
It's something to work with.
Exactly. So we've got all that going on. So I want to apologize to all of you and also Facebook friends. I'm still struggling with a pretty nasty cold. I've got a great immune system, actually. I really do. Don't take flu shots. Never took any of that COVID stuff, anything. But every once in a while, you get a cold. Stuff happens.
Right.
And it's a pain in the butt, and that's all there's to it. But, that's just the way it goes. So if you're...
plus the entire studio is being replumbed. There's expansion, there's construction. We're putting new stuff in.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of new stuff.
The main problem is that I'm sick. So I'm sorry that I'm not doing a better job
and
here
we're both
this weekend.
Hopheads on cough syrup and cold medicine.
There you go. All right. So there's a to kind of follow up on, kind of segue from that story, that poor teenage girl, to this. There's the Miss Universe Pageant.
This is a doozy, guys.
Brace
yourselves.
I've never understood these beauty pageants. Miss America, Miss Universe. I've never understood, and Miss USA, whatever. I know there's some differences, and with one of them they have more talent.
One of them is supposed to be more of a scholarship type of
But
pageant.
it's never been my thing. It just hasn't been my thing. Now, I happen to be a heterosexual male. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Those types of events, beauty pageants, never did it for me. Just absolutely never did it for me. Never did it for me. So why am I even talking about this Miss Universe
I don't
pageant?
know. Why
Well,
don't you tell us?
I actually, you do know, but so let me read this to you. And I've got some audio that I'm going to play on my phone through the microphone here, and we're going to see how this thing works out.
We're still hooking stuff up here, folks.
Yeah.
So bear with us.
Yeah. Hold on a second. All right, so I got it here. All right. There's a new owner of the Miss Universe Pageant. Let me read you part of this story from Breitbart. Something extraordinarily strange happened at this year's Miss Universe competition on Saturday. The pageant's new owner took the stage to proclaim that women now run the competition for the first time in its 71-year history, period. Okay, now, you might think, well, that's good. That's, women power. I am woman. Hear me roar. And, women are finally in charge of the Miss Universe.
We'll have to talk about the MCU at some point, too.
The what?
The MCU. But go on, please.
You. Okay. I didn't know. All right. So
go on.
There's so that's good news. Okay. The pageant's new owner took the stage, proclaimed that women now run the competition for the first time in its 71-year history. Yay, women! Yay! However, there's a bit more to this story. The pageant's new owner is from
probably Indonesia.
From Thailand.
Oh, Thailand. I'm sorry.
And the pageant's new owner is, again, now women are running the competition for the first time in 71 years. The new owner is a transgender woman who is a biological male.
Yep.
Miss Universe's new owner says from now on, it's going to be ran by women. The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women, owned by a trans woman, for all women really around the world to celebrate the power of course, feminism. You don't believe me?
Here we go, kids.
I've got
Brace yourselves.
Got the audio right here.
Brace yourselves.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women. around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
God, that's so beautiful.
Huh.
I actually
What
want to
can you
cry.
do?
I
mean, what are we supposed to do with
actually want to
that
cry.
sort of?
Yeah. So Miss Universe now owned by a biological male who identifies as a trans woman
Correct.
and who would be allowed to shower in the YMCA girls' locker room in California because there you go.
Why don't you play that again?
Just-
I mean, this is just,
Okay.
we've got to hear this again. I mean, brace
Okay.
yourselves, kids.
All right. Hold on a second. Let me get this thing.
Don't worry. Hey,
All right. Hold on.
we have our high-tech stuff here.
The Miss Universe organization from now on is going to be ran by women,
Women.
owned by trans women. For all women.
And the crowd went wild.
For all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
Let's celebrate the power of feminism. I don't even know what to say anymore with this stuff. It's like I'm living in an alternative universe. I'm looking around going, what?
Well,
What? I
you
don't
might
understand
say it's
this.
really-
I don't understand Oprah Winfrey owning Weight Watchers. I swear to God. It's like I watch these commercials and I go, excuse me, don't you know that that's owned by Oprah Winfrey? Weight Watchers? Hello? You've got this. It's like my head's ready to explode. I can't take this.
Well, maybe we should take a break, and
That's-
then maybe we will let you get your head back.
Sounds good.
screwed on.
Sounds
Um,
good.
We're coming up on something to pay the bills for Boss Man, and since he's invited us back today,
Yeah,
we got to do it.
Yeah. Okay. And it's Dimitri and Kurt. The radio. I've got it. What you're waving now? What am I doing? What, am I doing something wrong or what? Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay. All right. We'll need to work on some of this stuff, but
What's that?
we're going to work on some of this stuff.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't sure about that. We're about 4 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see. I think
All right. I'll be right back.
I got to get a cup of water.
Oh, okay. You want to get water also?
I'll get water from the machine.
Okay. We're going to run it here.
What was this? Yeah. How about if we go to Olivia Dunn next?
All right. Sure. Segue into that. Why
yes,
not?
because
That'll be your baby.
Yes.
Let's see, Chris Allen. Okay, I'm a real woman. Kimberly's a real woman. Let me run the contest. Oh, I could imagine her, Kimberly, running the contest. One of my Facebook friends, who is
Michelle
actually
Kettler.
lives.
Michelle Kettler, if she's married since then, but she was running the local branch of Miss USA or Miss America. I can't
Really?
remember. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you well with that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she got remarried after her first husband died.
Oh my God.
Brain cancer.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The weather woman. Yeah, nice person.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So we got about a minute 45.
Okay. Yeah. No, Kimberly Phillips Smith actually lives in Rock Hill,
Wow.
South Carolina. She's from Martins
Cute.
Ferry, though, and
Cute.
she's a periodic stalker of mine, but she's married, so just gotta watch out. Gotta watch out. Margie and Chris Allen are arguing now. No sexual behavior at all. In fact, the library has a complaint process in place. Okay, so they're going back and forth here.
So we're getting there, but
Good.
she's got 6.7 million TikTok followers.
Okay, and this is Olivia.
Olivia Dunn.
Okay, so you handle this one then.
Right.
Good.
Less than a minute to the
Okay.
to bump in.
Great. Please share this if you would on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Let people know what we're doing here, even though it's still early stages, embryonic, but we are getting there. We're getting there. New equipment, half the equipment's still not.
What's
The
that?
equipment's still not in.
No, we're
Yeah.
getting there.
Yeah, we are getting there. No question.
It's a work in progress,
Indeed.
but there is telemetry going out.
I have no idea what telemetry means.
That's
but
okay. We got about 15 seconds to bump in.
Great.
Stand by.
Okay. Also, 100.9 FM and 14:30 AM. So hello, everyone. Plus
Along
everyone
with
on
the mighty
Facebook
1290 and what is it? 100.1
and 100.9.
Oh, 100.9. Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
jeez.
So you
Anyway,
sent me
shifting
something.
gears.
Yeah,
Yes.
you sent me something interesting, and it was, which is unusual. I mean, an unusual story.
Or else we wouldn't be talking about it.
Exactly. About a gymnast
Right. And
in Louisiana.
well, she's actually originally from New Jersey.
Right, but she's in Louisiana with
Right.
them.
She's a member of the Louisiana State University gymnastics team.
Right. Go Tigers. Anyone in Louisiana, you ever meet anyone in Louisiana, you just say, go Tigers, and they will love you, even though they misspell the word go. It's just the damnedest thing. Anyway,
It
so
is.
so you sent this to me. Tell the listeners about this.
So this is blown up in sports media. And in one sense, it's a good thing because now female athletes can make buku money. In fact, Olivia Dunn, this gymnast we have been talking about, is 20 years old. She has more than 6.7 million followers on TikTok, which is the Chinese communist social media network.
Yeah.
And she's seriously popular. She's originally from Hillsdale, New Jersey, junior communication studies major.
Seriously hot also. I mean,
Uh,
let's face it.
Yeah.
The thighs, you talk about
Yeah, because
gymnast.
she's been
Oh
doing
my God.
she's been doing gymnastics since she was 3.
And she's really smart too.
Yeah. She was named to the first year SEC academic honor roll.
Yeah. You wouldn't think that the SEC would have academic honor rolls, given what
But
the
they do.
SEC is. But apparently some other athletes actually go to class. It's amazing. Go figure. I don't know.
And to say how hot she is, she attended
Yes.
and walked the red carpet at the ESPY Awards in
Wow.
Los Angeles.
Wow. And I don't even know what the ESPYs are.
That's ESPN's awards for media.
Where they gave
So it's
the
a big French
the
deal.
woman award to Caitlyn Jenner that one year.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
Anyway. But here's the kicker.
Yes.
Louisiana State University has to increase security at gymnastics competitions. So why, you ask?
Yeah. In fact, I was just going to ask that.
Because they said disruptive fans tried to meet Dunn at the team's season opener.
Yeah. I have that problem sometimes too.
Oh, yeah. She didn't compete in the meet because she had a shoulder injury,
Mhm.
but a lot of young men attended the competition and made themselves, according to published reports, very much part of the environment. They were drawing attention away to what was going on. And so there are now additional security measures in place. And a former NCAA athlete and Olympic gymnast tweeted a video of screaming fans, mostly young men,
Sure.
waiting for Dunn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, quoting now, this is actually so scary and disturbing and cringy.
Yeah.
I'm embarrassed for them. And it's like, wait a minute. Isn't this what sports fans do?
Isn't this what you wanted? You want to be a social influencer. You want, you got 6 million people following you on TikTok.
More than 6 million.
You don't want that. Just delete your account. It goes away just like that. It
Right.
really does.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and not only that, she's rich.
Mm-hmm.
Livy Dunn, rich.
Yeah.
Because the NCAA has allowed college athletes the right to monetize name, image, and likeness, or NIL.
In other words, like any other student there, you can actually make some money working for yourself.
But this is serious money because, they were thinking that all the football jocks and all the basketball jocks, well, lo and behold, Livy Dunn makes 7 figures.
And she's got a great figure too.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
She was featured on a digital billboard in Times Square
Wow.
with videos from her social media accounts.
Yeah.
She uploaded a promo video to the LSU Sports YouTube channel and says, according to the video, quoting now, "I really love gymnastics and I really love social media. So I thought, why not do both?
Yeah.
And LSU is the perfect school for that. I came here and my social media just kept growing."
That's wow.
And last August, she signed with the same agency that represented Joe Burrows, Serena Williams, and Novak Djokovic.
Wow. Those Serbian names are always tough. They really are.
They
Or
are.
Croatian. I don't know what he is.
But she's got all these sponsorships.
Yeah.
She's making sizable coin.
God bless her. God bless her.
Right. And, more power to her. But the response from the university saying, "Oh, we have to have security. All these, young men are, being."
Well, the university, though, has got to be really happy about this. I mean, because otherwise, I'm sure they never had to worry about having extra security for a women's gymnastic event ever at LSU or
And I
anywhere
can
else.
tell you,
because who cares?
and I can tell you,
But now they're
back
getting-
in my college days, shooting pictures for the Pitt News.
Yeah.
How many people do you think were at gymnastic events?
Right. I mean, they're just
They
family
were held
members.
up at Trees Hall, not in the,
Yeah, just some family members and all that.
basically.
So it's a great problem to have. LSU, and more power to them. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
It's great that she's making money.
But for her to be complaining about, all these people and this,
it's hard to say if she's the one complaining. It's like the people around her are complaining.
they're all the same thing. Anyway, so there's that. Let's shift gears. Oh, is there anything else you want to add to that?
Well, her TikTok videos are meant to inspire studs from the descriptions.
Yeah.
She does difficult flips on the balance beam, dances in a bikini, participates in trendy dance challenges.
What was
The
her
video
name?
took-
What was her name again?
Olivia Dunn, Dunne.
Okay. Just wondered.
Yeah,
Just wondered.
yeah, and her last video attracted nearly 11 million views in 3 days.
That's going to be more than our Facebook live stream is going to attract. I
That's
think for the
on a
next
par with NCIS.
million years. Yeah. Anyway, let me ask you a question. Let me ask our listeners. Well, I'll ask you a question as
Oh,
well,
sure.
Kurt. You're listening to Dimitri and Kurt here on this wonderful new talk show, which is an experimental stage. It's a test flight. We're test pilots. We're checking out all the equipment, make sure that everything is working right, and adjusting as we go along. I don't know if you have kids. Do you have kids?
Yes.
Okay. Would you, if you were Marie Osmond, and you had more money than God, would you leave that money for your kids?
I probably would.
Really?
I would leave some. I don't say I would leave all of it, but I would leave some. They are your kids.
I wouldn't leave anything.
Well, that's
Marie Osmond. The reason I bring this up,
Mhm.
Marie Osmond is getting a lot of grief because she has millions and millions of dollars, but she's not going to leave it to her kids. And she's saying that it breeds, leaving all this money to the kids breeds laziness and entitlement. So here's the story. Marie Osmond's worth millions. She's a singer and spokeswoman She's made it clear she doesn't want that wealth along with laziness and entitlement passed on to her 7 children. I think she's Mormon. And she
Yes.
recently defended
Or
that.
was Mormon.
I'm sorry? Was Mormon? She's not Mormon anymore?
Don't know.
No.
She's been divorced a couple times,
Oh, really?
as far as I know.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
double check.
I
You
didn't
go ahead and
I didn't know that. Okay. And she says, why would you enable your child to not try to be something? Growing up in the spotlight, Osmond, now 63 years old, has firsthand experience with the pitfalls of celebrity and previously voiced her concerns over unearned wealth. Recently, she sat down with Us Weekly and she said, man, it must suck to be you. Osmond recounted her son's friend contending after her opinion had gone public. Well, she said that with a laugh. The performer went on in a seriousness to state, why would you enable your child to not try to be something? I don't know anybody who becomes anything if they just handed money. To me, the greatest gift you can give your child is a passion to search out who they are inside and to work. I don't know. If I were one of her kids,
7 kids.
man, one of her 7 kids, I'd be really pissed. I really
Or-
would.
Yeah.
Because I'm
8,
thinking,
excuse
man,
me, 8.
you know, this is going to be like the gravy train here. This is going to be, you know, I'm going to be set for life. And then Marie Osmond is saying, you're not going to get any of this. I would imagine that Mother's Day next May would be a bit awkward.
Don't you think?
I would certainly think so. And which means, okay, so Marie Osmond is not going to be leaving it to her kids, which means I've got a chance that maybe she'll leave some to me.
Oh, yeah, and you just have to get her attention first.
I've got a chance. Anyway, so there's that. We've got the break coming up.
No, we got some
we
time to
don't-
talk some more.
We don't have a break coming up? The top of the
Not
hour?
for a few minutes.
Oh, okay, fair enough. A lot of people have been responding on Facebook, and Kimberly says, "I got to get love you, D." Okay, Jeffrey Blystone has looked at Olivia Dunn, very attractive young woman. Oh, no question.
Oh, yeah.
No question.
And, you know, we want to wish her well.
Sure, absolutely. No
You know,
question.
she's got talent and she's running with it.
Yeah. So, how about somebody who has no talent and yet is running with it because he's got a great last name? Hunter Biden. Just when you thought Hunter Biden could not be, go ahead.
He was on the board of Amtrak, the National Public Railroad Corporation, for 3 years. Did you know that?
I had no idea.
Yeah, and of course they still don't run on time, but
They're horrible.
mercy sakes.
They're absolutely horrible. So this guy Hunter Biden, who is just the slimiest of the slimy offspring of politicians, cokehead and God knows what else. He had a relationship with a woman. I think she's a stripper or something. I believe she's a stripper.
She was.
And
Arkansas.
okay, they had a child
Out of wedlock.
and now that child wants to take on the family name of Biden, because after all, Hunter is her daddy. Hunter is fighting this. So we're going to be talking about that. So in fact, we got time to talk about it right now. As a matter of fact,
Mhm.
Hunter Biden's a reason for attempting to block his estranged 4-year-old daughter from taking the family name suggested the criminally investigated president's son may care about the girl's well-being after all. After denying fathering Navy Joan Roberts, with now 31-year-old Luden Roberts, Biden ultimately conceded his parentage after a DNA test confirmed his paternity.
But he did not appear on the Maury show.
No, but this guy saying, "Oh no, it's not my kid. It's not my kid. Yeah, I had sex with that stripper, but no, not my kid."
No, nothing happened.
Yeah, your kid. The seemingly cold relationship with his fourth of 5 children. Can you imagine? And he's not even Mormon. Can you imagine Hunter Biden being your dad and there are 5 that we know of?
That we know of.
That
yes.
we know of.
Absolutely.
Holy cow.
Mhm.
Anyway, a new court filing submitted by Biden's attorney this month claimed that the father is attempting to assure his out of wedlock daughter a, quote, peaceful existence as he combats efforts to legally change the girl's surname to Biden. The girlfriend wants the daughter to have the name Biden. And I think that's a great idea because you got to name Biden. You can get
Why
so
not?
much money from China and Ukraine. I mean, they just throw money at you. They
Be
throw-
on the board of Amtrak's directors
and
board of directors
Burisma
of
and
Amtrak.
everything else. Absolutely. Yeah, no, the woman is actually very smart. Roberts, who Biden had impregnated while actively involved with the widow of his brother Beau. This
Oh,
guy
there's
is
a
just
yeah.
God.
Total class. And they talk about us here.
Yeah, really. Wanted to change a Navy Jones last name to that of her father. Navy is the girl's first name. It's the strangest thing. Anyway, could have been worse. Could have been Coast Guard, I guess.
True.
Yeah,
True.
Anyway, the filing also claimed the name will afford opportunities just like it has for other members of the Biden family. That might be the quote of the year.
Mhm.
The woman, in her argument to the judge, to the court, is saying that, well, if you allow my daughter to have the last name Biden, the filing also claims that the name will afford opportunities, quote, just like it has for other members of the Biden family, end quote. What else? I mean, what do you need to add to that? I mean, does that
I
not
don't
speak
know.
volumes? Does that not speak volumes? Unbelievable.
I
All
don't
right.
know. I mean, that whole family.
It's so
It's a
sick.
family of grifters.
It's so sick. It is.
At least it
so-
appears so.
No, well, actually, it is. More than appears so. It actually is. All right, we're going to take a short break here. On news.
In a little bit, yeah. The clock is the clock, and the
Okay.
clock says we have about 45 seconds.
Okay,
to-
well, coming up then in the next hour, and again
Yeah.
for Facebook, you can include. Let's see here. Blindstone
Well,
says
for
she's
one thing,
still,
we're going to include why you can't really see Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech.
the full speech. Exactly. Okay, got that. We've got a husband whose wife thinks that they're in an open marriage, but he doesn't think so. So there's some kind of awkward issues involved.
Yes, and
there.
some
We're
law
gonna-
enforcement hanky-panky.
We'll be talking about that. Virginia DA, a Soros-backed Virginia DA, is now saying we're going to stop prosecuting certain crimes.
And I'm going to come back with the news right after this top of the hour line.
Exactly. So Dimitri and Kurt on the news, River News. Oh, here we go. All right.
Okay, we've got a news bed. That's loud. Okay, with River Talk Radio News, I'm Kurt Weinshanker. A nonprofit research institute hopes to solve a murder mystery in Belmont County. The Cold Case Investigative Research Institute went to the home where Tom and Angela Streisand were murdered in September 2021. It says new DNA retrieval gear might shake out new clues to the identity of the murderer. There's a $20,000 reward outstanding for tips to catch the one who committed the crime. The Pittsburgh restaurant chain, known for putting French fries and coleslaw on sandwiches, plans to expand with a location in Weirton. Permane Brothers plans to build a 4,000 square foot restaurant on a site right off of Three Springs Drive. The chain was founded in 1933 at a location in Pittsburgh's Strip District. Permane Brothers has 40 locations right now, 30 of them in Pennsylvania. You're listening to River Talk Radio News. Guinness World Records says Prince Harry's tell-all memoir Spare has become the fastest-selling nonfiction book of all time. The organization says 1.43 million copies were sold during its first day sale in the UK, US, and Canada. Penguin Random House says it topped Becoming, written by Barack and Michelle Obama, which needed a week to reach those sales figures when released in 2018. A reminder, with the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday on Monday, federal, state, and local government offices are closed. The U.S. Postal Service will not deliver regular mail. Also, buses and vans from the Ohio Valley Regional Transit Authority and East Ohio Regional Transit Authority will not operate. Look at the weather forecast. Tonight's low, 23 degrees. Tomorrow, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, increasing clouds with a high of 46. Low tomorrow night looks to be about 37. Tuesday, we'll see occasional rain showers, but mild temperatures with a high of 52. For River Talk Radio News, I'm Kurt Weinschenker. Okay.
So we have a 2-minute break.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we want to go with Martin Luther King Jr. Day and why?
Sure, let's start with that. What the heck?
Yeah, since it's kind of topical.
Sure.
How are the comments on Facebook? Are they?
Oh, they're fine.
Okay.
They're fine. There's nothing horrible. A lot of times people start interacting with each other on Facebook,
Oh, okay.
and they ignore us. It's the strangest thing, but it's not that unusual, actually.
Well, as long as we're getting some, that means somebody's listening.
Oh yeah, a lot of people, and many more will, as word gets out. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just going to be organic growth everywhere.
We're getting
question.
there.
No question.
And we thank you for watching.
Indeed, and sharing.
Yes, please tell your friends.
Jeff Ryston, listening with rapt attention. That's the best way to listen.
Yes,
That's the best
30
way.
seconds to the bump in.
Okay. And watching.
By all means, tell your friends.
That's
don't know
my
where
fault.
I'm at.
Nah, just the way it's set up here.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, about 10 seconds to bump in. Stand by. We're in the bump. And we're back with Dimitri and Kurt, or Kurt and Dimitri.
There
Or,
you go.
you know, two guys
Just-
hopped up on cough medicine.
Hanging out here just on the mighty 1290 and 100.1 FM and 100.9 FM and the puny 1430.
Or the
Also on
nifty
Facebook.
1430. We're trying to work on it,
Yeah,
you know.
nifty.
It's a work in
It's
progress.
not really nifty.
But, you know, Dimitri, I mentioned in the news broadcasts that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is tomorrow.
Right. Official federal holiday, very big deal. And for those of you who are getting, who are behind on your rent payments and other car payments and everything else, good news. You're not going to receive anything in the mail reminding you that you've got to pay all that stuff because no mail tomorrow.
Right. But the one thing you will have difficulty finding
Yes.
is trying to watch Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech.
The full speech?
Correct. And there's a story behind that.
Well, let's hear it.
The problem came about in the late 1990s because the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. estate got upset because CBS was doing a production for A&E on 20th Century with Mike Wallace. And they were using footage from that I Have a Dream speech. And they said CBS owed them royalties on that speech. So it went to court. And CBS said that the speech was in the public domain because it was a performance. It was
Right.
not, well, they said it was a general publication and not a performance. And a lower court had said to CBS, yeah, you're right. But then the King estate appealed. And the facts of the case are this. Dr. King delivers his speech to a large audience, you know.
Incredible speech. It
Yeah.
really is. It's an incredible speech.
On the National Mall, Washington, D.C., and CBS televised it. The catch was the text of the speech had not been submitted to the Register of Copyright to obtain the federal copyright protection.
For the King family.
Right. So under state law or in District of Columbia law, common law copyright only is in existence before publishing the work. So the argument goes, because the speech was delivered to the general public with extensive media coverage, the text of his speech entered the public domain, could be freely copied,
Right.
etc., etc.
Right.
But, and this is a big but, the next month, Dr. King registered the text of his speech with the copyright people as being an unpublished work.
Too late, though.
But after his death, his estate filed the lawsuit against CBS to enforce the copyright. So it moves through the court system. Lower court rules in CBS's favor. Dr. King's estate appeals it to the 11th Circuit. And there, the court ruled the public performance of the I Have a Dream speech did not constitute general publication. And by giving the speech in public, he did not forfeit his copyright. So, accordingly, the estate of Dr. King can charge a license fee for redistribution of the speech's text.
Really?
Yes. So if it's a pop, if we're playing it on the radio, if we're putting together a television program, dramatic reenactments, you name it.
Yeah.
Dr. King's estate gets a fee.
Well, let's play it on the radio.
We can't.
We can.
We can, but we can't. We'd have to pay them.
No, we wouldn't have to pay. The owner of the station would have
Well,
to
that's
pay.
true. Yeah.
The goofy guy that keeps hanging around here all over the place,
Yeah,
he'd have
yeah.
to pay. So I'd say we're pretty much free and clear here. Can you find it on YouTube or somewhere else? We could just play it.
Blam.
What?
You might be able to find a bootleg copy or whatever, but I'm sure the estate of Dr. Martin Luther King would charge royalties.
Oh, well, but as long as I'm not having to pay, I mean, this is a Dimitri 2020 LLC program. As long as I don't have to pay, I don't really care. I mean, that's really the management's problem, not mine.
The case ultimately got settled out of court.
Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't you know?
Because there was too much at stake for both sides.
Sure.
Really,
Sure.
if this court said one thing or another. But I can tell you from knowing some pals at CBS that if it gets redistributed, they have to pay a seven-figure sum to the King estate.
My God, that's as much as Olivia Dunn is making.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Wow.
Yeah, but that's a little story about why you don't see
Yeah.
such an important speech. Now, of course, we could say, it would be nice if copyright laws were such that, 50 years after your death, they become
Yeah.
public domain like it is in the European Union. But here it's the author's death plus 75 years.
Good Lord. We studied this in school, that speech. It was a great speech. By the way, a lot of people don't know that there was another version of that speech, the first draft, if you will, that Dr. King gave in, I think, Detroit. There's a recording of this. And it is similar to the I Have a Dream speech. But there are some differences. It was as if he was trying out different ideas, different not slogans, but different wording in this speech in Detroit. Now, I'm pretty sure it was Detroit, but I was really surprised because I just thought he did that all extemporaneously and everything. No. He had actually done a speech very similar to that, and again, I believe it was Detroit. So, no, great speech. But everything is closed tomorrow, right? All the federal stuff.
Right, and there will be various commemorations around town. And
Yeah, you consider that to be an official holiday? I know that the feds call it an official holiday, but
how many people actually get it off? If you're not in the state or federal governments, hard to say.
I can't imagine too many. It's sort of like Kwanzaa. It's there, but how many people actually do Kwanzaa?
Some people are represented by unions, and it may not be in your contract as a designated holiday.
Oh, union. So of course they'd have that as a designated holiday. Oh, it'd be everybody else would be working. But the thing with Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday, that has always made it problematic for me as it being an official holiday, even though the feds say it's official. You never have any sales. You know, with any other holiday, you have sales. You've got
There are so many bad taste things I could say.
you've got car sales, you've got sales for this, you've got sales for that, sales for every holiday you can imagine, for Valentine's Day, for Labor Day, for this, that, and the other. You don't have sales for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So it kind of makes you wonder, is it even really a holiday? It's a rhetorical question. I don't know, but I've never
Inquiring
seen
minds seek
exactly.
answers.
Yeah, I've never seen any sales, which I think is key. So, all right, anything
Anyway.
else with that?
Well, we could just mention that, the FBI kept track of Dr. King's sex life,
Oh, the FBI
which
is
leads
the worst.
into our next story here.
Indeed. And this is a really interesting story. If you think that your marriage could maybe use some work on the
70s are calling.
well, the 70s, yeah. But if you think your marriage could stand some work regarding communication,
Oh boy.
this I think will make you feel a little better. I'll just read I'll read the story. The husband of a Tennessee female police officer who was fired for steamy sexcapades with numerous male officers. That husband is standing by his wife despite the scandal, and he's trying to salvage his marriage as these details surface concerning their lurid entanglements. And I do mean lurid. Oh, yeah, baby. According to Jedediah Hall's boss, Coffee County Sheriff Chad Patman.
We're at Tennessee.
Yes. I don't know how he's doing it. He's more of a man than I am, but he's trying to salvage his marriage. Officer Megan Hall of the Tennessee Police Department was fired after allegations were made that she was having sex with her co-workers, sent them nude pictures, took off her top at a Girls Gone Wild themed hot tub party, and performed a sex act on two fellow officers.
How about that?
While she was on duty.
Hey,
I mean, there's so
great work if you didn't get it, I guess.
Indeed. Her husband, this Jedediah Hall, seems to be willing to forgive her after all of that. She was under the impression, at least in some of the articles, some of the stories, that she was in an open marriage, that she had his permission.
Zowie wowie.
And he was surprised because he didn't realize he was in an open marriage. So
did I miss something here?
Yeah, apparently so. Their communication could really be improved.
Yeah.
When his
Maybe
wife's
a good therapist.
When his wife's antics came to light, he pulled out of a program. Now he's a deputy in Coffee County. It's going to hard to live down his wife's actions. I have offered and extended to him any resource that he needs. And all he says, Sheriff, I just want to work for the citizens of Coffee County. I love what I'm doing. I don't condone what went on at the police department, but he sure hasn't broken any laws. He's a victim here. There's not a blemish on his record. And he's doing a phenomenal job. It's really absolutely upsetting.
His wife is playing around.
An internal investigation by the police department reported that he'd become upset at a party when his wife started kissing somebody else's wife. And
Wow.
Jedediah says he really wasn't on board with his wife taking part in a threesome. And it goes on and on. And I cannot imagine in a million years how any husband could put up with something like this.
Or
not in a million years.
How did she ever get the idea that she was in an open marriage, not telling him about this? Did I miss something?
Apparently so. But he's still trying to salvage his marriage. Good luck with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Good luck.
We wish him
with
well.
that. Yeah. No question. How are we doing on time? Do you have a
We
break?
still have some more. We can go through and talk some more.
Okay, fair enough. Next story here. Another one of these George Soros-backed district
goodness.
attorneys, one in Virginia, is getting in trouble with everyone
Oh, shocker.
because of a memo saying that she will stop prosecuting certain crimes just on her own. Doesn't matter what the
Hey,
legislature
you know.
says. Just no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
Uh,
society.
Yeah, a left-wing Virginia district attorney is drawing criticism after she sent a memo to judges advising them that her office is, quote, inundated and that certain crimes will no longer be prosecuted. Another example of a coddling of criminals by officials who have been drawn the support of billionaire meddler George Soros. This Loudoun County Commonwealth attorney, Abuta Bib-Eraj, informed the judges that in order to focus on more serious felonies and violent crime, that her office would punt the ball on lesser misdemeanor offenses, including trespassing, public drunkenness, possession of certain drugs, petty larceny, and traffic violations,
Whatever
such
happened
as
to the
reckless driving and
I mean-
hit and run with property damage. Can you imagine?
Whatever happened to the broken window theory that if you prosecute the low-level criminals,
Yeah.
then people get the message and they shouldn't break the law.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
I miss something here?
Yeah, no question about
I
this.
mean, and then you have the whole issue of how many times have we heard stories about police making a traffic stop, which is probably one of the most dangerous jobs in the policeman's job description,
Mhm.
and then discovering that the person behind the wheel had a bunch of outstanding warrants
Yeah.
and was a wanted crook.
How could a district attorney on her own say that, no, we're not going to enforce laws about trespassing, which means anybody
That's
could come on
anarchy.
your property. Anybody
That's
can come on-
anarchy.
No, absolutely. Because they have no respect for private property because they're trying to destroy everything. This George Soros.
It's
He is
anarchy.
just the worst.
That's the only words that come to mind to
Public
describe it.
drunkenness, like in California right now with all their cities. You get as drunk as you want, walk around, destroy the quality of life for everybody else. We're not going to arrest you. It's insane. Possession of certain drugs and petty larceny, traffic violations. This is the worst. Reckless driving and hit and run with property damage. You're not
I've
even going
never-
to prosecute that. George Soros, I'm
Well,
telling you,
if you
this
look
man-
at San Francisco and seeing all the broken windows, I mean, people are leaving their hatchback lids, trunk lids up to show that there's nothing in there to steal.
absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, we're going to take a short.
We've got
break
a
here.
little bit of time to kill yet before we do. There's about 30 seconds before the break.
Okay. Okay.
We're going to talk about PJM, and you probably haven't heard of them. But if you want your house heated when the cold winds blow, they're a pretty important bunch. And they have a preliminary report on how their organization performed during this latest bomb cyclone. And you're going to want to hang around, and
Yes.
we'll explain it to you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With Dimitri and Kurt here, it is the talk
Back after
station.
the break.
Okay. We have 4 minutes. All right. Great. Excuse me. Excuse me again.
Yeah, Dimitri and I have been on the loose, wolfing down cold medicine and cough drops and that, and it's the show must go on. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please spread the word. We're going to get better. Right now, we're just kind of rebuilding some stuff around here. We're just kind of getting our act together, admittedly, but both of us have done this sort of thing before, and hopefully we will continue to do this. But we thank you for watching. We thank you for your support. We thank you for spreading the word. So anyway, I'm going to do some show prep, as we call it in this business, and we'll be back shortly. So far, so good.
Yeah. And what is the thing called again? What?
PJM, interconnection.
PJM.
M.
What does it stand for?
It used to stand for Pennsylvania, Jersey, Mid-Atlantic, or something like that. It's the important thing to know is it's just the organization that coordinates wholesale electricity across states in the Northeast and
Okay.
Midwest.
Oh, that's good. Good. So feel free to talk about that.
Let's see, what do they call it? PA New Jersey Interconnection. That's what it stood for. Pennsylvania Jersey Interconnection.
M?
Well, it formed when Baltimore Gas and Electric joined. So it was Pennsylvania Jersey Maryland.
Okay.
Pennsylvania Jersey Maryland.
Okay.
And they have their act together, and they are very transparent and open about what they do.
Great. So we'll get lots of good information here about this stuff.
Yes.
Great. Good. Let's see who else is.
A minute. The bump. "30 seconds to the bump in." Less than 15.
Okay.
Stand by. In the bump. And we're back. Dimitri and Kurt here, keeping you company on a Saturday or Sunday night, man. Sunday night, start of the week.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
You can hear this, of course, on the River Talk stations. River Talk, of course, 1290, and the 100.1, as well as 1430 and 100.9. Also on Facebook. Include your comments. And
we appreciate all your
any
comments, good, bad, and different.
Yeah,
you know.
and any topics that you want us to discuss, feel free to do that as well.
Chime in.
Now, you were talking, Kurt,
Right before the break.
It's winter, and I'm very, very concerned about the energy policy of this country under the Democrats. It's horrible, and the bottom line is, I don't want any power failures this winter. I don't want to have our house be freezing. We're going to need space heaters,
As
electric.
much of us.
Exactly. And you talked about this PJM, which I knew nothing about.
Right.
But
and
I
most
wanted
people
to,
don't.
Right. Well,
but
this is
fortunately, because you gentle listeners are here with us, we're going to break it down for you. Because if PJM doesn't do their job, you might have natural gas to heat your home, but you won't have any electricity to make the fans go to blow it around.
So you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a big problem. So when Kurt first talked with me about this PJM, I couldn't wrap my mind.
No, your eyes glazed over literally as I started talking about it.
They glaze over a lot, quite frankly, with lots of topics. So help me understand for our listeners, help the listeners understand as well as me, what PJM is and why, if they're concerned about having enough warmth for their daughters, for their baby's bedroom this winter, why this is a very, very important topic.
Right. PJM Interconnection is the regional transmission organization that shuffles wholesale energy around to a bunch of states in the Midwest and in the Mid-Atlantic region. And what they do is they operate the competitive wholesale energy market and manages our power grid in our area.
We're
So
talking
that
electricity.
the electric power grid, so that when you flip that switch and expect the light to turn on, it does.
Okay.
And so during the recent bomb cyclone over Christmas, they had some problems. And because PJM is a very transparent organization,
Mhm.
they've released their preliminary report to the public so that you can understand what they were thinking, what happened, and what kind of things we might want to see going down the road.
All right. You had mentioned that PJM initially was Pennsylvania, Jersey,
Maryland.
and Maryland. Does that include the Upper Ohio Valley?
It expanded into the Upper Ohio Valley.
Okay, so that this does affect us.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we
That's
wouldn't be
important.
bringing it up otherwise.
Okay.
But,
All right.
they shuffle the energy around. They shuffle electricity around.
Mhm.
Some plants are spooled up, some plants aren't, etc. So what happened during this bomb cyclone over Christmas, and this is from the PJM initial report, we saw the most drastic temperature drop in a decade, 29 degrees. And they planned, for having an increased load. But what happened is the actual load exceeded what they had planned for. It came in 10% over what they were forecasting.
So more people needed energy than there was energy.
Right.
Okay.
And part of what PJM does is call in from other regions, cranks up plants so that when you flip the switch, the light goes on. Or more importantly, when the furnace fan tries to come on, there's electricity to blow that heat around your house.
Okay.
Even if you have gas. You might have gas, but if there's no electricity to move that hot air around, it's a problem.
Wow.
And their numbers in their preliminary data, their initial report, are truly dismal digits. As they tried to call in reserves, hey, there's more.
Okay, so
people need power.
PJM is now looking for extra power because it doesn't have enough.
They're telling their operators like Allegheny, well, not Allegheny, I mean Appalachian Power and First Energy, hey, we need more juice.
Right. Okay.
So they call them up and try to get more juice. And the big thing out of this was, as they tried to call the reserves up, they couldn't get the power.
Why not?
Because, and this is the preliminary data, it suggests that the natural gas fired power plants couldn't get natural gas to run.
Oh, because of all the stuff that they've done to stop fracking, the liberals.
Well, that among other things, but
I'm sure that's what it is.
But the priority goes to people heating their homes. But
Right.
Here's the catch-22. You can have the gas to heat your home, but you may not have the electricity to power the fan to blow it around.
Good Lord.
And to add, make their difficulties even worse, these outages, these plants that could not fire up, were reported to, the headship, PJM, with less than an hour's notice or no notice at all.
How is this even possible in this day and age?
Well, it's probably your fuel mix. So they go on with their generator performance. It's all in nice PowerPoint stuff that if you have a reasonable mind and look up stuff, you can figure out what's going on. And according to the PJM preliminary data, the forced outages of natural gas accounted to, I'll use the number, 32,473 megawatts.
I have no idea what that
Right,
is.
but the point is that probably 2/3 of the forced outages came from natural gas. Only by contrast, maybe 15-20% came from coal, and the other balance came from nukes, wind, solar.
So this means, I think, that when the Fed started cracking down on fracking, making it more difficult, choking the supply, now we're feeling the effects.
And so they're dealing with the unavailability to generate electric power. They couldn't do it. They wanted 57 gigawatts, which is,
That's as much power as our
but
radio
you get the
station
idea.
has here.
Well, that's a lot more.
Oh.
And then natural gas supplies declined by nearly 30% in the Marcellus and Utica shale regions during this period. So they couldn't
we were energy independent. We were energy dominant under Trump. And now that the Democrats are in charge with this useless Biden, and they had both chambers of Congress for 2 years, they did everything to destroy the natural gas industry, destroy fracking, and now we're paying the price. And you're telling us that maybe we're going to be freezing, that the baby's room is not going to be able to get enough heat.
It could be.
Simply
Because as an electricity operator, interchange operator, they swap electricity, with other regions, and so they were able to send some power at first to other regions, like the southern states that, they're not used to this weather at all.
Right.
But then
wusses.
when December 23rd hit, and the cold's coming down, they had to quit exporting to the South because they needed it and the generators weren't coming online.
So
and that's why you're getting these advisories from these guys saying you need to cut your power.
And Jennifer Granholm, she's the Department of Energy, right?
I believe so, yeah.
What the hell has she done?
Probably the same thing that Pete Buttigieg has done for Amtrak.
Just utterly useless. These people are just utterly useless. We're freezing. In fact, I'm cold here tonight. And they do nothing. They do nothing. I think they want this. I actually think that they want us to be cold and miserable and not have enough supplies at the grocery stores, and the supply chain issues. I think this is by design to break us. I really do.
I mean, it's just daft. We used to have a electric grid system that worked.
Yeah, imagine
and now
that.
all of a sudden, we seem to be running into these problems, especially when cold weather hits.
And yet we have so much natural gas with the Marcellus and the Utica, and below that there's another one, not the Permian, but there's I forget the name of that, Pleasant or something. But they've done whatever they could to stop all of this drilling.
Well, New York State, they can't drill at all.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane, and they're going to freeze.
So the upshot from this is they're still working on their full analysis.
Yeah.
It's going to come out maybe in the middle of April. And of course, the feds have started a nationwide investigation, wanting to know what happened. And the rest of the PJM report that I have in front of me, goes into details.
If people want more information, can you just give out the link, the address, the URL? Is that possible?
If you go to the PJM website at pjm.com, you'll probably find more than you want to know about the subject. But I'm bringing it to the attention of people because, to me, this is strike two. If you remember, about 7 or 8 years ago, we had another one of these.
Yeah.
And at the time, they released a report like this. And I happened to be interviewing U.S. Representative David McKinley, and I had a copy of that report from them.
Congressman for the 1st District of West Virginia,
yes. And
the Northern Panhandle.
And he was on the Energy Subcommittee, and I mentioned this to him. He's like, "You have a copy of that report?" And I said, "Oh, sure, you can have it."
I can see why Alex Mooney defeated him.
But I'm just saying, the point is that this represents the second strike, I would suggest.
What's third?
Grid fails and people freeze. If we don't try to do something about this energy mix and make sure that we have enough so that when something like this hits, we have power.
It's insane. In the year 2023,
we are so programmed to just flipping a light switch.
Well,
and,
sure. It's
presto magica.
In the year 2023, for us to even be having this conversation is, to me, an abomination. It really is. I just
Now,
get
the
so
renewable energy
angry.
people say, "Oh, we need more solar panels. We need more wind turbines." But
They don't work.
From the first one, some years back, they discovered that the wind wasn't blowing.
Wind tends to not blow sometimes.
And because the weather was cloudy, solar wasn't delivering a whole lot.
Right.
And as far as nuclear power is concerned, you don't want to run them up and down. They want to be like a tea kettle. They want to be cooking at a steady temperature. Then you spool them down for refueling or maintenance, and then you put them back up. You can't go cycling them up and down the way that you can a coal plant, a natural gas-fired plant, an oil plant.
Okay.
And what happened during that one was coal bailed out the whole region.
Oh, why we aren't embracing coal and fracking in this area is incomprehensible to me. And then you've got this Joe Manchin, this useless Democrat who's in bed now with Bill Gates talking about clean energy alternatives. And it's like, we're just being
iron
betrayed.
air batteries.
And West Virginia's rhinkled rhino, Shelley Moore Capito. I mean, she's not any better. She's part of the establishment, the rhino Republicans. I mean, we've got to get rid of all these people. We just have to get rid of them and get some fighters in there so we can finally get enough heat for our homes so our babies don't freeze.
Well, and what people don't realize about electricity is you have to produce it as you consume it. It's very difficult to store electricity, as we are discovering.
Right.
Because our cars, those electric vehicles, are dying. We were talking about yesterday the electric bus for Ohio County schools.
Right, the beast.
Right. And the performance is limited by, guess what? How much electricity we can store in a vehicle.
Yeah, and when you store it, it doesn't stay stored. I did a test drive of a Tesla just because I thought, what the hell?
Yeah, hey.
And
Droovy.
the acceleration was ludicrous. I was actually scared. It was like, holy cow! It's like felt like I was a bullet coming out of a barrel. It was amazing.
I got to test drive a Chevy Volt too. So so there's some perspective here.
The point that I'm trying to make here is that I asked the sales lady, who by the way hated me, just hated me. And I don't know what I ever did to her. I really don't.
Oh, no.
And I asked
her, just you.
I asked what?
You were just you.
Well, that's true. That might explain it. I asked her, all right, let's say I have a fully charged Tesla. I'm going to leave it in my garage. It's fully charged. It's not plugged in. It's fully charged. And I go on a 30-day round the world cruise. Let's just say. I come back day 31. How much power do I still have in my battery? She said that you would lose 1% or 1 mile, I think, 1 mile per day. So at the end of 30 days,
if it's
just
new.
sitting there, you would lose more than roughly 10% of the power of your battery. It's unbelievable.
Hello, laws of chemistry.
It's unbelievable. It really is. So we need to take a break here now.
Well, what are we going to do after we take this break?
Well, Chuck Todd actually has had a good point that Merrick Garland now has the power to determine the who the next president is going to be in 2024.
Wow, that sounds interesting to discuss.
Chuck Todd, I'm not a fan of his, but fair's fair. He brings up a good point, so we'll talk about that with Kurt and Dimitri here. It's 100.1 and the mighty 1290 and 100.9 and the puny 1430.
Nifty 1430. We're trying to be positive here.
Sure.
So anyway, we'll be back.
All right.
Right after this.
Four minutes. Okay.
Good to go.
Okay.
forgot to close the door.
No, that's okay.
Sorry.
You're
Going out?
I'm just standing up.
Okay. I forgot to close the door. My bad.
Oh, no worries. We're doing fine.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing fine.
Yeah.
And we're getting there. Okay, 2 minutes to the bump in.
Okay. Surprised more people haven't.
More people don't know about us
Yeah.
yet. That's the problem. Minute 30.
Mhm. Wait for the phone system.
Oh, that's going to be trippy.
Well, I cannot wait.
We'll get there.
Johnny's been great. He
Yeah,
lives here.
Yeah.
The guy lives here. I mean, he's here like 8 days a week.
8 days a week.
Yeah.
Thirty seconds to the bump in.
You getting more comfortable with this?
Hmm?
You getting more comfortable with this?
Oh, yeah.
Great.
It's just a matter of 15 now to the bump.
When's our next break?
To the bump.
Yeah. When's our next break?
That's the end break.
Oh, this is the last break.
And we're back. Black Betty. Classic hit.
Dimitri and Kurt here on 1290, the mighty 1290 and 100.1 FM, and the puny 1430 and
You keep saying
100.9.
puny.
Well, they need to come up with something. If they're going to use the mighty 1290, they need to come up with something better for the 1430. So I'm trying to shame
I
them
said
into
nifty
That
1430.
doesn't work. Anyway, so Chuck Todd. I'm no fan of Chuck Todd. I'm no fan of MSNBC. But fair's fair. When someone with whom I disagree comes up with a good point, I think it's only fair to acknowledge it and go, hey, that's actually a good point. Chuck Todd is saying that, and I'm paraphrasing here, saying that the person who could have the most influence in the next presidential election in 2024.
Which sounds bizarre. Bizarre.
Well, we have them every 4 years, presidential elections.
Well, this is true.
So in
But
2020,
Chuck Todd influencing? Tell us more.
okay, he says that the person who's going to be the going to have probably the most power to shape that presidential election in 2024 is Attorney General Merrick Garland. What? You might be thinking to yourself, what? It's just sort of like what you just heard here. And he does make a point. MSNBC's Chuck Todd speculated today that Attorney General Merrick Garland, who, by the way, is useless beyond belief, and thank God he did not end up as a Supreme Court justice because he was nominated by Obama.
Yeah.
Merrick Garland is poised to have a strong influence on the 2024 presidential election. The reason why is because the two most likely presidential contenders, President Joe Biden, I still have a tough time saying President Joe Biden, I really do, and former President Donald Trump, the real president, are both under investigation by special counsels thanks to Garland's decision making. The relevant discussion began with Todd being asked how large of a problem the classified document scandal is for the current president.
Which we discussed yesterday, which should be if, you know, if the law is upheld, which it should be.
Well, what's even the
You
law?
should be
What's even the law?
zapped.
What's even the law? I don't even know what the law is anymore. I swear to God, I don't.
As
I
we
don't
discussed
even-
yesterday,
I don't even know.
you're a junior enlisted person in the military, you lose accountability of a classified document. Bam.
Okay, so yes, I absolutely agree. He says, look, it's a huge political problem. I don't know if it's much of a legal problem per se. Lawyers like to add per se. I have no
Oh.
idea what that means.
Well, they're supposed to know Latin.
Ah, well,
JD.
there you go.
Juris Doctor.
But I think it's a huge political problem because you don't know where the special counsel investigation is going. He's right. You never know with these guys. I mean, look, if you now listen to the rationale that Merrick Garland, the attorney general, used both for the decision to name a special counsel to investigate Trump and the decision to do a special counsel to investigate Biden, look, I don't think it's out of the question that the Hunter Biden investigation that's currently being handled separately by the U.S. attorney in Delaware doesn't get folded into a special counsel investigation. And he goes on and on. The bottom line is this, that there are two sets of rules as we have come to understand what's going on in the deep swamp state.
Or as we were saying yesterday, different spanks for different ranks.
Exactly. And it's going to be very interesting, though, now because both of them supposedly have violated the law. I doubt that either one really had. But let's say that they did. You know, how on earth can you have one special counsel try to go after Trump and then give Biden a pass? But that's just the way
what
it
it
is.
is Merrick Garland, I think, is trying to put some distance between him and the Biden camp. Because I would not fall over dead to learn that the knives are out in the Democratic Party.
For Biden.
Correct.
For Biden, yes. Now, there was a very interesting story, a very interesting observation that I got from, and of course, I don't have the name of the American Spectator, I think, American something. Biden just, the headline's really actually quite interesting. Obama just put,
Oh, yeah,
Wait,
we're having
take-
a grand time
take
here,
two,
folks.
take two.
We're having a grand time here, folks.
But there's actually a very interesting point. Biden just put Obama in a delightfully serious bind.
How so?
The headline is delicious. Vice President Biden left the White House taking classified documents with him.
Oopsies.
However, what's really lovely is the problem this creates for Obama.
Oh, yeah.
After all, he's the only one who can rescue Biden. But
Correcto.
by doing so, he will completely exonerate Trump of the charges that the latter violated national security laws by taking documents with him when he left the White House.
Oopsies.
This is really, really interesting stuff. There are two people who address this. Biden has only one defense to the charge that he stole classified documents from the White House, which is a felony, as Democrats never fail to remind us when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, yeah.
That defense is that Obama, who was president when Biden took the documents, gave him permission to take them, effectively declassifying them.
Oopsies.
This defense works because the president of the United States is the ultimate authority about whether to declassify documents. Moreover, the president doesn't need to go through any rubber stamp process, nor does he need to consult with the bureaucrats who work for him. Basically, he has the power, whether through words, quote, "Hey, Joe, take these classified documents with you when you leave the White House," end quote, or actions, stuffing the documents in his own briefcase, to declassify them instantly with nothing more required. This is because the president, and only the president, has what's called plenary power. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
No, you are.
Okay. Plenary power over national security matters, including document classification and declassification.
Actually, but go on.
Okay, the Supreme Court articulated what's currently the last and best word on the subject in a case, Navy versus Egan, a case examining whether a civil service board could review someone being denied a national security clearance, a power it came to via a congressional act. long story short, the only way, according to this analysis, which I think I'm not a lawyer, but I've watched many episodes of Law and
Did you
Order.
stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night?
No, but watching Law and Order, I feel as if I could be one of those jurisprudence, jurisdiction,
Anyway.
jurist something. that
Anyway,
Latin
you're on a
term.
roll.
So I think this is fascinating.
Well-
Obama's the only one who could really let Biden off the hook. And
Correct.
if Obama does, then
That's
he
Mr. Trump
essentially
also.
is letting exactly.
He has to.
Yeah.
Because usually, like, think about it. We declassify documents all the time. A lot of the stuff from World War II, signals, intelligence, most of it has been declassified.
They haven't declassified the JFK assassination.
Right. That's another, whole can of worms.
I want to know.
Everybody else does too, but
Yeah.
let's face it, they've had 50 years to go through it.
CIA. I think it's
But the
CIA.
point is that usually there is a board that says, okay, we don't need the operation order for Operation Overlord classified anymore.
Yeah.
It's who's going to need it. And likewise,
What is that, by the way?
D-Day invasion of Normandy.
Overlord.
Yes,
Oh.
Operation
I
Overlord.
did.
Another good one that since we've been talking about the CIA and NSA and those other alphabet agencies,
Yeah.
is Venona.
Oh, that's where they found out when the Soviet Union collapsed, all those papers.
No. This is from the Cold War.
Right.
Project Venona. It was run by the NSA.
Yeah.
And what happened was, in World War II, the Finns captured some Russian code books.
All right, Finland.
One-time pads that had not been replaced, although they were supposed to be replaced. And through some absolutely brilliant cryptological work, the NSA was able to decode some of the NKVD's efforts to steal atomic secrets from the Manhattan Project.
Wow, and that's the precursor to the KGB.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Wow.
And GRU, which is
Wow.
Soviet military intelligence.
Okay.
But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
Because they were able to decode this,
Yeah.
they were able to say with certainty that Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were spies
Sure.
and they should be shot. But
Sure.
of course, they couldn't very well say in court,
Right.
oh, hey, we're decrypting Soviet
Right, because then you're showing your
diplomat.
hand.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had to find another way to do it.
Wow.
But going back to that, okay, the NSA said some years ago, look, it's been 50 years, everybody's dead. Let's declassify it, put it out there, let people see what we did.
Jesus. I hope
So there is a procedure for this.
I hope they also finally give us the information about UFOs. I am telling you, I'm just fascinated by what's going on right
Project
now.
Black Book,
I'm really
the Kecksburg incident.
fascinated by everything. Everything.
You know about the Kecksburg incident, right?
No, but I got a feeling I'm going to
Kecksburg,
find out.
Pennsylvania.
What about it?
Something happened.
Well, come on, get a couple of minutes left. Come on, very quick.
Oh, it's just something happened out in Kecksburg. I'm not familiar with it, but my cousin lived out there, and so that's the only way I know about it.
Oh, okay.
Very vague.
All right. And
Sorry,
what was the
folks.
name of this thing now in Finland?
Well, it was the Venona Project Venona.
VO.
Venona. Venona.
Okay.
And
All
that's the NSA program that decrypted Soviet diplomatic communications.
Wow. We had really great code breakers in World War II. Oh my God. And after World War II.
I mean, and these people are just amazing
They
when
really
you think about it, because they're having to decode. First off, they have to get the code decoded, and they have to figure out what the code words are
Yeah.
and who they represented.
Amazing stuff. These code breakers are just
And they're only getting a
unsung
fragment
heroes.
here and there.
unsung heroes of
They had to know Russian. They had to know English.
Japanese.
Yes,
It's unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So we have just a couple minutes left. Is
we
there
do.
anything else that we need? Oh, there is one thing, a shout out.
Absolutely.
I got the Times Leader. In fact, my wife bought the Times Leader today, and I'm glad that she did. Carrie wrote a story about Martin's Ferry recognizing the longest running small business in the Purple City. Martin's Ferry, the largest
nice.
city in Belmont County. Ohio Valley Printing Company celebrates a century in business. And there's a picture of John, who is the mayor of Martins Ferry, a great guy.
Yeah.
He is reading the proclamation to Phil Wallace, owner of Ohio Valley Printing, celebrating the store's 100th year anniversary and declaring it the longest running small business in the city. So a big
That's
shout
great.
out, certainly
That's great news.
to Phil Wallace. Big shout out to Ohio Valley Printing. Big shout out to Mayor John Davies. And wish him good health and everybody in his family
Phil Wallace,
very good health.
Phil Wallace served on Martins Ferry City Council.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure if he's still on.
But the longest 100-year anniversary. I mean, any business surviving 100 years, there can't be that many in Martins Ferry.
No, I mean, the closest that would have come probably would have been Robert's Pontiac, but they went under whenever
Pontiac went under.
Well, not when Pontiac went under, whenever it was after the steel strike.
Oh, okay.
The Roberts family had started that business in 1917. They made it to about 1997.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. But congratulations
Yes,
again.
congratulations.
Everyone
to
in Martins Ferry, please give my best to Phil Wallace and to Ohio Valley Printing. Very, very impressive. And a Powhatan American Legion, last World War II veteran, turned 100 also.
I don't know how that happened.
We're done. I guess we're done.
Yeah.
Show's over.
Show's over. We're still getting used to the automation.
We'll do it better next week.
We promise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching. Please
Indeed.
spread the word.
Share this everywhere.